All right, you guys, let's get started here. And basically, we're going to start from step one. Again, if you do have like a talk show or if you have a podcast, you definitely would want to go or use the Rodecaster Pro. It's an awesome device. I'm so glad that I got this platform. So let's just start from number one. All right. Number one, of course, you have 4 different mic inputs. All right. And so basically, whether you use the Rode Pod mic itself, let me show you how this works. We're just going to hit home now, as you can see, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4. These are basically your different mic inputs. It's very simple, very easy. Right here, let's start with mic number 1. If I click here, okay, now you can actually see where it says microphone. If we hit here where it says microphone, all right, now you can see where it says Rode Pod mic, which is what I'm using right now, this is what you're actually hearing me speak on. Or, you know, if you have the Rode Procaster, you could use that. The Rode Broadcaster, the Rode NTI, Rode NT, and, you know, and the list goes on. But what I want to say is, even if you have like a generic condenser mic, or there's even a place for that, even if you just have a regular dynamic mic, there's a place for that as well. Now, the cool thing about this is that these areas are already preset to those particular mics. Let's go back out to the home area. All right, so now we're back out to the home area here. And again, you can do that on all 3 mics, okay? So let me go back first. Let's step back out of this one. And now we're gonna go here to where it says level. Now, level, you click on level, you can actually, you have a different level to turn your volume up and down, okay? You have the slides here, the knobs here, but you also have the digital level as well by hitting the plus sign or minus sign, as you can see, and that will turn it up and down as well. Now, and then you have, this is the coolest thing, the audio processing, all right? So if I click here, there's a compressor, there's a high-pass filter, there's a noise gate, there's the oral exciter, there's the big bottom that you can turn on if you want a little bit more bass there. And I mean, it's endless what you can do with this thing in your voice. I'm pretty sure you can get it to exactly the way that you want it set. Let me step out of here. And when you go here to voice, if I click on voice there, it's asking me the strength. So if I click on strength, if I have a soft voice, I'll have it on a soft voice, which, you know, would give you a little bit more oomph. If you have a medium voice or strong voice, it all depends on, you know, the person that's using the mic at the time. All right, and then you even have a place here for tone. If you got a deep voice, high voice, you know, medium voice. I think my voice is medium. All right, so let's step out of here. And these are all the things. And again, you got 4 channels. So if you got 4 mics, you got 4 individual channels, very easily used. And here, where you see the little part here where down below, the green is for the ear. You can actually activate that by turning it on or turning it off. You can even mute it here. That, when you mute it, of course, you can't hear anything. Now, let's step over to the next great thing about the Rodecaster Pro. And that's here, where you see the USB connection, which you can connect this directly to your laptop here. Not only can you connect it to your laptop, you can take calls that way. You can take live calls. So if you have a podcast and you take live calls, if you have a talk show like I do, you can take live calls. And not only that, let's just say, you know, I keep mine connected to my laptop. But something else that I do is I do a lot. Sometimes, you know, during my talk shows, I have my live calls. I don't necessarily use the USB. I actually use my Bluetooth. So you actually have a Bluetooth here. You can actually take live Bluetooth calls without even connecting any cables. So that's an awesome way to get calls without it, hooking up a whole bunch of cables, you know. But for those of you who prefer the hard wire, there's a place for that too, where this little phone is. So still, you can just connect your cable there for your phone calls. You can even get your phone calls right here. Look at that, right here. I mean, when I say this thing is awesome, it's awesome. Now, I don't necessarily record on it, but you can record on it. I'll get to that in just a second, but before I go any further, let me go to this last place here where you see this last drive here. I mean, this last button here, okay, on the slide there. Basically what that is, as you can see, there are your tabs on the side here. This is for like any, I do mean any kind of sound effects you want to use. Like it comes preloaded with sound effects like this. Got your laugh tracks, your cheering. If somebody tries to make a joke, it's not funny. Little, you know, drum rolls there. All kinds of little. And it's endless on what you can do with this thing and where you can actually go with it. All right. Another cool thing. All right. So I'm going to go here because let me stop that. I actually have quite a few sounds. So, you know, just to let you see some of the sounds that I have preloaded, like this is the beginning of one of my shows, you know, all kinds of, you know, there's so much you can do here. So many things that you can do there. All right, and now for those of you who like to use, like, let's just say you like to use your buttons for your headphones. If you don't have monitors and you just want to go straight through your headphones, and you have 4 different, there's 4 of you on your podcast or your talk show or your video talk podcast. You all have individual headphone volumes as well, so you can even control that. I love that particular feature just because, you know, I've done a lot of recording in the past, and yeah, you know, some people ears are more sensitive than others. Yeah, excuse the smoke. But getting back to what I was saying, that's a cool feature to have. And yes, you have your main volume here. This is your main volume. Your main volume, okay, controls a lot of things. Because I'm a little bit more technical. I actually have this run into a large mixer board, which I don't need, but sometimes I like to entertain live, and so I'll run that straight through to my speakers, my mixer board that goes out to my speakers. I'm going to show you that in just a minute, as far as all of the connections for that too. So with that being said, let me just go ahead now, and we'll move on to the next subject on the Rodecaster Pro. Okay, now this is the rear of the Rodecaster Pro, and on the rear of the Rodecaster Pro, as you can, just like I told you, you have your 1, 2, 3, 4. These are your mic inputs. It's XLR. Anybody can do this. Anybody can set this thing up. Right here, you see this input here basically is for your mobile phone. If you want to have live incoming calls and you don't want to do it on Bluetooth, there's an audio input for just for your mobile phone. So you can actually even take live calls through your mobile phone and plug it right here. Now, the next 4 plugs, so 1, 2, 3, 4, this is for your headphones. This is where you plug your 4 headphones in. Very simple. And again, they all have separate volume buttons for that as well. And these 2 here, left and right, this is your stereo output, which is output to wherever you want to put it. I mean, if you want to just use this, you want to be live, you want to go through a mixer, or what have you, you would use these guys here, left and right. These are your outputs, all right? I try to set this up so you guys can see. So here, this is where you would actually plug in your SD card. right here. So you could actually record live podcast right on your SD card directly on and into the from the Rodecaster Pro. All right, and next to that, as you can see, this is where your USB plugs directly into your laptop if you want to use audio off your laptop, and so forth. Okay, and of course, next to that, here, what this is your power source, which it does plug in a wall. It's not like USB connected, RAM or anything. You do have to plug it into a power source. And next to that, you have your power source here. I mean, to turn it on and off right there. Okay. And yeah, basically that's pretty much a quick run of the Rodecaster Pro. Yeah, this, if you don't have one, it's a must-have. If you are podcasting and you don't have one of these, this makes things so much more easier. It's well worth the money. They run about $5.99, and I'm going to put a link below so you guys will know exactly where to get them from. You can get them from several different places, but I'm going to put the link below where you can find the Rodecaster Pro. All right, and with that being said, I'm going to move on.